You're assuming I've got a bad side.
We are reimagining Lara Croft's original debut adventure, and we are representing this in a way that is going to be appealing both to the core fans of the franchise and newcomers. So if you have never played a Tomb Raider game or have played all of them, now's a great time to come back and check it out. When this was presented to us as an opportunity to do this, it's not only like a really exciting thing to get a chance to do, but you feel the weight of the responsibility too. Because if we were making something from scratch and we're like going out there and saying, hey, play our game, you're gonna love it, we win or we lose. But with this, there's an expectation. There's fans that are out there like, we've been waiting a long time to see this. Please get it right. And I think the reaction videos to some of the stuff that we've already shown publicly, seeing how people are kind of getting moved by it, we're not out there trying to just make people cry. But dear God, like the fact that that's happening, like it really does feel like it's a paradigm shift, like it's a moment. And we're just really proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, and to kind of echo back what you were saying, the amount of care that goes into making something like this, it has to come from the heart, because otherwise this doesn't work. We say this often that like before we were Tomb Raider devs, we were Tomb Raider fans. So we try to, as much as we can, keep it in our minds, like, is this the game that you wanted to play? Like, if you weren't making this, if you were just a dev in a different era, or not even a dev at all, and then you were like, hey, they're remaking Tomb Raider, is this the game that you want to play? And I think, like, having that thought and that care constantly going through our minds, making sure that we are hitting fan expectations, make sure that we're hearing their feedback. Because again, like, the most important part of this, as much as we love joking around about like people laughing and crying and then playing the demo, the feedback is the most important, because we want to know the things that we are doing right just as much as we want to know the things that we're not doing right, so we can give fans the game that they deserve. Because at the end of the day, this is a love letter to them. So if we are not getting that right, then we're gonna go back to work. Lara is at the top of her game at the beginning of this. We really wanted players to know that coming from the Survivor trilogy, evolving who she is as a person, this is her like at her prime. She is a more experienced, more confident Tomb Raider, and it shows both in the narrative and in the gameplay. There's a tremendous amount of responsibility that comes with casting someone as important as Lara. It's not something that we take for granted. Both Crystal and Flying Wild Hogs, we care so much about this character, and we have cared about this character for so long, that when it's the time to find a new voice, we want to make sure that we want to take our time. We want to pay attention to all the little details. We want to make sure that like everything checks off the list. And when we met Alex, it was almost scary, because it was one of those things that just kind of clicked. We internally joke that if she wasn't an actress, she might just be Lara Croft in real life. She gets it in her performance, which I am super, super excited for fans to witness it. There's just a lot of personality that comes across. It's not overtly explicit. It's very much on the nuances, on the details of how she delivers certain lines. There are lines in the game that we didn't think that they were going to be impactful when we write it. We were just like, yeah, like she'll make a comment about something like this, and then we get it back from the VO booth. We're just like, that might be my new favorite line.
Yeah, it's really important when we have a Lara who has got the events of the Survivor series in her past. This is that Lara, just in the different phase of her career. Part of that, version of Lara added a lot more humanity and depth to her character. And we didn't want to lose that, but we also wanted to get some of that Lara mojo back from the original adventures. And so when Alex performs the character, she does it in a way where she toes that line perfectly. She'll own the room, and then all of a sudden she'll find a way to migrate you into a space where you're like, oh my God, I feel for her in this moment. I mean, watching a craftsperson work like that and take your ideas and add her own to them, and then we all together get to this new place with the character, is really a gift.
Hard woman to track down.
We absolutely are doing full performance capture for our core cinematics, but we also do a lot of stunt work. Clearly acrobatics are back, so we got to get that data somehow.
All the performance capture is done by Alex, but there's a bunch of other animations that we also need to build on the top of it, and we need to iterate on it, and we cannot just take her time whenever we need it. So we do what we can with the technology that we have and with the people that can support the project as well.
And I know for a fact that if we did say, hey, do you want to do this? She would absolutely want to do it. And we'd be like, no, we need you to be healthy. Don't do that.
And she would hurt herself.
Lara is a living, breathing woman. She has a very tragic past with lots of privilege, yes, but there's lots of tragedy and trauma there as well.
You see in the reimagination of the first cock puzzle, if someone played the original one, you would remember the puzzle itself, but what we've done, we reimagined it completely. So we've built the whole structure, the architecture behind it, the whole logic why the cogs would be there. We've built all the environmental storytelling so people can explore the world and see the actual Incan architecture and what they've been doing there. But we also wanted to show a bit of the combat.
We are showing raptor combat. So raptors are a staple enemy from the franchise. We are very excited to bring them back, not just from a gameplay perspective, but also from like the art side. Arik can probably talk about feathers and dinosaurs for as long as we can get this meeting going. So it was important for us to find a new flow of combat for Legacy of Atlantis. So we really wanted to, for people playing the demo here, for them to get an experience of what combat feels like, what some of the new things that we are doing, what some of the old things that are back. And then we cap it with a familiar yet slightly different T-Rex encounter.
Yeah, and we also were showing kind of the new tone of Tomb Raider at this phase. So you're seeing reimagination in function, and hopefully, it meant something to you. Hopefully you got moved by it. You'll find that also there's another layer on top of the beautiful visuals. There's a narrative layer as well. So Lara can find documents along the way that are basically, little treasure troves of information of the folks that were in those areas at those times. And the history provides this deeper mystery, and it really does kind of push you to want to go discover more and really try to get the whole story put back together.
We have our thesis of what we think made the original ones interesting, or our thesis of what we thought that the designers and developers at the time were trying to recreate. And we constantly ask ourselves that question, like if they had the tools that we have today, if they had gone through all the games and all the technology changes, would they go for something like this, or would they go for something different? So that's kind of like our North Star, to preserve what was special about the original, but make sure that people that are playing games today, it feels accessible to them. So a player in 2026 is very different than a player in 1996, making sure that the combat, the traversal, that the puzzles are all something that you can expect from a modern game, while preserving that level of, we call it cerebral internally, because it's a slower game, it's a slower pace, has been probably the most fun and the most challenging part of reimagining it. And I think that the demo that we showcase here kind of shows what our approach is like. Preserving key important things like dual pistols, acrobatics, but bringing it into a modern audiences that feels like it could, stand it on its own if it was just a normal game.
We just basically make decisions on what's the best thing for our game. That's basically the golden rule for everything. You don't want to force anything in for nostalgia, because that would be bad, but you also don't want to just put something in because you like it. You have to make the right decisions so that the game feels consistent.
If you remember, in the original one, you had the med packs just dropped everywhere throughout the forgotten forest of Peru. Someone just accidentally dropped them over. Because we want to build a whole lore and a whole logic to the game, we couldn't do it in hours. So we've got a different way for the healings, and we just want to keep the game consistent.
It was very important for myself and Jeff, who've worked on the Survivor trilogy before. We never get to do dual pistols. So making sure that we got that right, I think, was always like top of mind. You never know. You always think that you're onto something when you're in the developer team and you're testing internally and you're doing user tests, as we care about player feedback a lot. And in a lot of ways, this feels like dropping our kid at preschool, because like for the first time, people that have never seen this game, never played it before, are grabbing it, and you're like, oh my god, is it gonna go well? Are they gonna like it?
Don't fall off the swings.
Don't fall off the swings. So I think anything combat related, but particularly the dual pistols and our focus system, like that was something that I was very, very excited to see people test it out.
We've been working on this game for so long without letting people play. We obviously been testing and everything, but like when you see people play, it's so rewarding, because you see the smiles, you see how excited they are. Some of them are screaming. they coming over and just saying thank you. It's awesome. I mean, it's the best feeling ever.
We brought someone back literally because we were in the middle of an interview, and then they just kept screaming, and we just looked. There was like, can we talk to that person? One, I just want to make sure that they're okay, but also I want to know what it is that they liked it so much. So yeah, I couldn't agree more with Arik said.
That should do it.
The original game created such a great memories for so many people that we want to do the same for the new generation. And like, for example, when I was playing, I was 9 years old, and now my son is 9 years old, so I want him to create those same memories that I've created when I was playing the original one.
I do want to say though, like we talk a lot about fans, we talk a lot about love letters. I don't want it to come across like we're also not welcoming to new players. The goal here is to actually present something that's universal. And so if you are a fan, you know a lot more about this world, you know a lot more about this character, and you also know a lot more about the events that follow than anyone who hasn't played it. But for those that haven't, now's a great time to come and check it out, because everything starts here. And I just hope that people find community around it. They come in and they find someone that has played it before and they're like, oh, that thing that you thought was interesting, check this out. It doesn't mean the way that this is the way it's going to play out this time from this point forward, moving forward moment, but it is a really cool thing to see people kind of have a chance to kind of come together on it. Keep letting us know how you feel. Like, you know, as more stuff comes out, like we love seeing the community's reaction to everything. Like it fuels us. So by all means, please keep it coming.
Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis comes out February 12, 2027. It comes out for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Switch 2.
Some legends are destined to be retold.